What's up, guys? Today I'm here to tell you that I was wrong about engineering. It's not the worst gold making profession in Shadowlands, at least if you compare it with another armor profession. And it's all due to the speed gear. Let's take a look. Oh, on Thursday, I did my first experiment with speed gear. I crafted one of every piece of gear that you can add pure air sail extensions to. And with two different Crafter's Mark, Crafter's Mark 4 and Novice Crafter's Mark. We'll get into why later. And then I slammed them onto the auction house. And since Thursday, I've had more than 200,000 gold in sales. And I'm selling a lot of these for 15,000 gold. You want to know how much it costs me to craft a speed item with a Crafter's Mark 4? About 800-900 gold, depending on the item type. A couple of hundred for the base item, 400-500 for the Crafter's Mark, and then 200 for the pure air sail extensions. It's less than 1,000 gold. I'm selling these. I've sold a couple at 1,800, a couple at 5,000, and a bunch of them at 15,000 gold. Even after the auction house cut, that's 13,000 gold profit per item. Not sure if there's anything that even comes close to that profit per item in Shadowlands, and they sell relatively quickly. Just look at these two screenshots. They were taken 2 days apart on my main speed gear poster. So the first one was yesterday when I cleaned out my mailbox. The second one was today. I just reposted the same items. It's incredible. It's incredible. So this is why I was wrong. I mean, look at this. These sales are incredible. So let's look at everything you need to do to get started. First thing you want to do is to get the recipe. To unlock progenitor enhancements at all, you need this quest item, Unformed Essence. It drops from literally any mob in Sereth Mortis, so you just need to go there and kill a lot of them if you haven't already. The fastest way to do that is probably to go in the group finder, go to custom group, and look for like a Genesis mote farm. You'll find a group, so it'll kill a ton of mobs really quickly, and you can probably get it relatively quickly. So that's the first step. Then once you have that, you need to actually farm the pure air sail extensions on a character that has Shadowlands engineering. You also need to level engineering to 100, but you don't need to do that before you get the recipe. The recipe could drop from two different rares, Garudion over here, and Takwitz over here. Takwitz definitely an advantage to have flying to get to him. But those are the two you want to kill. Once again, utilize the group finder, go in. It's usually under questing, I believe, that you can find rare groups. So just search for the rare you want, or you can check some of the other ones, see if you can find them here. Garudion. I didn't find any now, so just check if they're up. If not, you'll just have to camp them or pay attention when you're in Sereth Mortis. It's not a 100% drop rate, even with engineering. Report of people getting them very quickly on their first character and then having to farm it for a long time on their alt. I'm not sure. I've had the recipe in my bags on my engineer for a long time, but my engineer is also the main character that I did Sereth Mortis on. So I just don't know how much dedicated farming time is needed if you don't have the recipe. I got it relatively quickly. Oh, what do you craft? Well, who wants speed gear? That's always the question you have to ask when you're trying to sell something. Who's buying this? It's people who want to build a full speed set on a character for fast movement, particularly if you're farming old raids, old dungeons, places where you can't mount up. The main use cases for druids, which means leather, is probably the most popular armor class, although I have seen sales of mail and all the other armor types as well, so don't just do leather. But if you have to prioritize, do leather and rings and necklaces. Now, people can twink on either level 50 or level 60 for speed gear. Level 50 might give you access to some items. There's also some item slots where you can have level 50 gear to get access to lower level enchants. This is the case for boots, for instance. But overall, I just decided to craft one of each for level 50 and 60 gear. You can do that with two different Crafter's Marks. For level 60 gear, we're going to use Crafter's Mark 4, the highest item level you can get at level 60 that you can also use in every possible slot. You might want to add a couple with the Crafter's Mark of the first ones for 266. I haven't bothered with that because it's just going to make it even harder to keep track of. But it might be possible. I'm not sure. I've prioritized the Crafter's Mark 4. And then you have the Novice Crafter's Mark, which turns an item into a required level 50, which is what you want to use to cater to level 50 characters. So far, I've sold more level 60 gear than level 50, but I've only been doing this for 4 or 5 days, which means that it's going to be heavily skewed. If one person gears out a twink, or when I've just reposted, that's going to skew my sales number by a huge amount. Probably have to do this for a couple of weeks before I know what the best item level is, so I'd suggest going for both. It's not super expensive. Even crafting one of each, you're looking at 80,000 gold probably to get one of each for each item level type for every item in the game. If you just have one profession, it's significantly less. So my suggestion, just go for it. Craft whatever you can and get them to the auction house. Let's take a look at exactly how I do that with TSM. These items with dynamic pricing is extremely annoying. So I suggest having a separate banker with a completely separate profile. I have that right here. Well, this is my default profile, but I don't use that for anything. And we're going to use hard-coded values. So this is my group for speed gear. And my operation looks like this. My minimum price is 1800 gold. I know that that's well above my crafting cost. And for these items, I'm looking for high profit margin. I don't really want to sell these for 800 gold. I don't want to spend the time crafting them for that low. Normal price, 15,000. I think that's a good price. And in a lot of cases, these will be posted at your normal price. I set my maximum price to 50,000 gold. I think that's definitely going to be a pain point. But you can play around with this one in particular. Due to how bonus IDs work, you're going to be posting your items at the normal price a lot. So definitely play around with this. Maybe start higher and then go down until you find the sweet spot to make sure you get as much profit as you possibly can. At this, I'm making like 14,000 gold per item, so it's absolutely incredible. But this is how I do it, and this is how I'd suggest doing it with TSM. Do this on a separate banker, on a separate profile. This way it doesn't mix up your other Crafter's Mark gear. If you have other Crafter's Mark 4 gear, there's no risk of mixing it up. You just have everything on this character. It's just speed gear. And it also makes it easier to keep track of your stock and keep track of your sales. So I still don't quite trust crafting operations in TSM when it comes to progenitor enhancements and stuff like that. So this is where having this on a separate banker makes it way easier to keep track of. If we're taking a look at my jewel crafting stuff right now, if we go to the versatile selenium ring, what I do is I add the item level modification, so either the novice crafter's mark or the crafter's mark 4. And then we can see here that I have one on the auction house on my lazy glyphs poster, which is the guy who's posting these. So I probably wouldn't add one of these. And then if I go to the masterful fade room ring, I'd add the crafter's mark 4. And here we don't have any. I'm out. I'm going to craft 2, because then I don't have to recraft initially. Then we add the pure air sail extensions, and we add them to the queue. And now we have them in the crafting queue. I can use the task list to go buy the materials, and then we get them onto the auction house, and then you just do the same thing for every other item. You check with the correct item level changing one to see if you still have it in stock or not. And then if you don't have it in stock, then you also add the pure air sail extensions, add them to the queue, and then once you've gone through all of the items that you want to add, or all of the items that you keep in stock, then you go buy all the materials, craft everything, and send them over to your banker, and that's it. This market has been doing incredibly well for me. Hopefully you have as much success as I have. If not, let me know in the comments. We can see if we can help you out. Good luck. Thanks for watching.